Call the Alan Cox Show.
Where's the best place in America to meet single girls and guys?
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
If you're watching at AlanCoxShow.com, remember you can get on the contest page and try to get on Poundcake's Polar Blast tubing team there. But also a tip of the cap to Bob Homlager for helping out today in the video department. Much appreciated.
Thank you,
sir
Bo
or
Bob.
madam. Thank you, Bob. Is that a male?
Yeah.
Okay. Bob Homlager. And our 12th Alan Cox Show Polar Blast Battle is going to happen, our annual tubing race, out at Boston Mills Brandywine. That's set to take place on Friday night, February the 23rd. And so the next 3 weeks, we'll be putting people on our respective teams. Mary's going to be in for it, so she'll have her team Snow Babies. I'll have my team, the Coxsicles. Poundcake, it looks like he put a poll for people to choose, and it sounded like Astro Gliders is winning.
Astro Sliders, yes.
Sorry, Astro Sliders. I keep screwing that up.
Yeah, Astro Sliders is 109 votes to like 45 or something like that.
Okay.
Last time I checked. I've seen, you still got 24 hours. So if you still want to vote, Radio Cody B, it's on my Insta story. But I've seen people come, like, I do polls all the time. I think I did Gwen Stefani and Fergie. Right at the tail end, I thought Fergie was going to win, and Gwen Stefani won with like a couple more votes. Like
she came from behind.
Yes. So it still could be tube shooters, just those people haven't seen yet.
There's still plenty of time to make a choice.
But Astro Sliders is far ahead.
All right. Cavs basketball tonight. Your Cavaliers are in Orlando to play the Magic. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off here on the Buzzard and on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen. If you're in the area, we'll get out around 6:30, and that will kick off your pregame coverage. And then the Cavs will do 2 in a row in Milwaukee against the Bucks. That's a Wednesday-Friday doubleheader, so that means that they'll be spending a cold, gloomy Thursday in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Whatever will they do? I don't know. Maybe they'll schlemiel and schlemazel all over the place. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Pardon me. And then they'll be back home to play the Pistons. The Pistons. The poor, poor Pistons. Christ. Thank God Detroit has the Lions, which is not a phrase you hear very often.
No.
You know, they were talking about the matchup yesterday. Great game, the Buccaneers and the Lions, that both teams have had winless seasons. It wasn't that long ago that the Lions had a winless season. And Browns fans can identify with that. But those Pistons, because Detroit does love its basketball, you know? Pontiac Silverdome's not there anymore. They play at the Little Caesars Arena, but they have won 4 games all season. 4 games. They're 4-38. And, you know, they just re-signed their coach last season. It's like this multi-million-dollar deal. And what are you going to do? This past Saturday, I doubt any of us, maybe Poundcake, I don't know if any of us posted. I didn't. Saturday was National DJ Day.
I did not post for National DJ Day.
Missed it.
But I see a lot of my colleagues in radio posting like old photos of like when they were just getting going and they're young and full of vim and vigor.
And hope.
Hope, right. Full of professional optimism, having no idea.
Suckers.
Having no idea how years down the road they'd either be spat out of the business or they would
become
that
bitter.
That optimism would kind of fall by the wayside. Yeah. So I saw a lot of my colleagues posting those kinds of photos, and they can be very entertaining. But if you've been fortunate enough to be in this business for as long as some of us have. It comes with its ups and downs. There's a couple in Oklahoma who I don't think they knew they were celebrating National DJ Day. But on Saturday, they were trying to steal copper from a radio station broadcast tower.
Nice.
And so they cut the guy wires and took the whole tower down.
Wow.
Sheesh.
There's a radio station.
That's determination.
Yeah. The radio station serves northeast Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, still off the air. There's a local media group who even know those were a thing anymore. K95.5 is the station. And a guy and his girlfriend got arrested for taking down a 500-foot broadcast tower with the purpose of stealing about $100 worth of copper.
Oh, my God, dummies.
That's insane.
And be
Well, it
locked
sucks
up
for
the
it
rest
sucks
of
for
their
the station.
It
I mean,
sucks so much for the
for the station. I mean, it's one thing if like something happens, you know, engineers will be out. We have engineers that will go out and do tower maintenance and things like that, and that's where they go out and make sure everything's running properly, and you know. But nothing you can do if they cut away the things that hold the tower up. These are very, very tall, so you need those guy wires to keep it in place, wind and inclement weather and things like that.
How high do you think these people were when they were doing this?
Not high enough. That's why they need the steel
I mean,
copper so they can get high.
The tower
No,
was
they wanted it to
500 feet high.
To stay high.
No, when you're high, you're not thinking about staying high. You're just happy to be high. You're not.
Speaking
You're
from
not.
experience.
You're not in motivation mode. Well, I
It's
just
once
no-
it starts to wear off, you're like, I need to be high
yeah.
again.
Then you go, oh crap, we don't got any money to get high again. We got to figure this out.
But when you're in it, you're loving life.
Yeah.
They either use wire cutters or something really similar to that, and they just cut the guide wires on the top section, and that set of guide wires, after that, that's when it folded and came to the ground. We need to be able to reach the citizens of Northeast Texas and Southeast Oklahoma with life-saving information. And you've taken our voice off the air needlessly for, what, $100 worth of copper? Shame on you.
And it sucks because they did about $500,000 in damages. And there ain't no local radio group owner that's got $500,000 lying around.
Right.
There's probably tower insurance, things like that, but
Oh, they're gonna get
that still sucks.
They're gonna get bought. Someone's gonna like, ooh, you need our assistance? Now we're gonna pimp you.
Pimp you?
We'll
What are
give
you talking
We'll front you the money,
Uh-huh.
and then you just
But
pay
then we're
us.
gonna turn you out?
Pretty much.
Wow,
you
we're
just-
gonna make you get out there and clap it out with all your prospective clients.
Clap it out.
Man. Well, yeah, KITX there in Oklahoma having a tough time. Sheriff goes, there's probably more than $100 worth of copper in there, by the way, but what do they know? And one of the woman that they caught, like there's she posted a photo on Facebook of another situation where she just has the back of her Kia open and it's just full of like copper tubing. So obviously not geniuses, but they said about $500,000 in damage to the tower and the building, because these broadcast towers have like a little concrete building near them that has equipment inside and so it fell on that too. Now, for all I know, this could be a fully automated radio station. I don't know. I don't know if they have, live people on the air there. But the tower was only 8 years old. They had just built this tower. And it was the first FM station to serve that area of the country. And, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, those radio stations, like that guy said, that's what people are listening to. If there's a friggin' tornado coming, or it's why when we have blizzards and crap, TAM, it's mostly AM stations usually doing it because they have such a wide reach. But, all those service elements, there's a lot of people who rely on those. And these copper-loving, sons of bitches got out there. They didn't even realize it was National DJ Day, or maybe they did. Alan, I'm an airline pilot. There are thousands of screws. What's really fun is when they put speed tape on the plane. It's like duct tape for flying.
Makes the plane go faster.
R.I.P. Billy Mays. Yeah. It makes you wonder. You see those old Billy Mays lives on forever in the infomercials. The crazy putty, what's stuff called? Mega putty, miracle putty. They could just be putting that on the wing. Oh, we're all out of bolts. I've got flex tape. Could I put that on there?
I mean, you could try.
Back when you could smoke cigarettes on a plane, these are the same planes that they're using. I mean, I think a lot of those were probably decommissioned before now, but
who knows?
But
I mean, there still are some planes they'll get on and they'll have ashtrays on them.
Right. But it is very strange to think about that, and you'll freak yourself out probably if you think about it too much, where the airlines are like, every company has to do that cost-benefit analysis. What are the chances something's going to happen here against what it would cost us if something does happen and people sue? And invariably, they'll go, we'll take our chances.
They sure do.
They do.
They absolutely do.
They go, let's wait till something happens, and then we'll figure it out from there. Somebody dies, we'll offer the family
funeral expenses,
couple $100,000, whatever.
$500,000.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
It's more money than that family's ever seen, but it's a drop in the bucket.
And they're ready to
for a
fight.
company, huh?
They're ready to fight too. Like they're like, oh well, we can just hold them out like in civil court if they try and sue.
All right.
I'm guessing.
You'll hear anytime there's somebody in the news because they've hurt someone else, whether it's a mass shooting or somebody who is mentally ill, clearly mentally ill. The reflexive comment from a lot of people is we should really put more resources toward taking care of the mentally ill or finding ways to mitigate situations where people can hurt other people.
And then people do it, right?
And then they do it. They pony right up. But most people who are mentally ill are also not violent. Most instances of violence is against people who are mentally ill, not at their hand. The problem with that, though, is you have to put a lot of trust in the person you're seeking mental health assistance with. And so Travis McBride, who was a therapist in Florida, who specialized in anger management, ostensibly helping people through that, he got arrested for killing a guy and stuffing him in his trunk after a fight. So if this guy, imagine this guy was your therapist, and you're like,
went from anger management to space management.
I'm going to see Mr. McBride because I've just been in too many fracases. I've been in a fracas. I've been in a couple of Donnybrooks. I've been in, I've done my share of shenanigans, and now I'm court-ordered to go see this guy because he specializes in anger management. He's the owner of Starting Point Mental Health in Florida, and he was arrested after...
How do we know that he did it out of anger? What if it was a crime of passion or love?
Well, he killed a homeless man, shot him multiple times, then stuffed the body in the trunk.
Been for love.
He might have been. He was embarrassed that he had fallen in love with a homeless man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a neighbor or somebody called that there had been some suspicious activity. Somebody called the cops, said, we got a couple eyewitnesses, and there's a guy who's trying to clean blood off the ground or something. He just dragged a body across the road. So this is like on a road, not at his house, right? People are calling the cops going, this guy just put a body in his trunk and left. Bodies in the trunk. Get the bodies in the trunk. And then he came back 10 minutes later and started scrubbing the road. So it's not like this guy was,
He's not a great criminal.
No.
He's anger management, not getting away with crimes management.
But to Mary's point, that could be considered. I mean, crimes of passion legally don't mean romance. It means you blew your stack, right? Legally, crimes of passion are defined as not premeditated. You go,
This does not seem premeditated. No, I will say that.
No. Cops pulled some shell casings from the street, checked the guy's gun. There was some blood in the street, and they found the bullet-riddled body. Bodies can be riddled with a lot of things. Cancer, happiness, bullets. 52-year-old Clinton Dorsey inside the trunk. And this guy's not driving a big car, by the way, either. So you think that people were really going to notice. This guy was driving a Nissan Versa.
Oh, yeah, those are
not a big car.
That's a little car.
Yeah. So they said that this guy had been fighting.
But pretty impressive trunk space on that small car. I'll give him that.
Well, he folded this dude up.
Yeah, but still.
Got that second row seating.
It's a compact car, so to get a full body in that trunk is pretty impressive.
Yep.
Not the advertising you want if you're Nissan, but it does let people know lots of room in that trunk.
Lots of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there had been a whole lot of problems going on, I guess. He said that there was an ongoing dispute between the two. I don't know how you have an ongoing dispute with a homeless guy, but I've told you I don't want you to clean my windshield. So when they arrested the guy, he had injuries on his arms and his hands, and told cops he had been training dogs all day, and that's why he was all scraped up. I've been training dogs all day, and they need to be trained. If they were well trained, they wouldn't be scraping me up. But listen, all these scratches should prove to you that I was training poorly behaved dogs. Just a few years ago, this same guy was arrested on a domestic battery charge by strangulation. And he's got a handful of battery charges. So maybe...
I guess those who can't do, teach.
I guess maybe at some point to get, Florida as the... God knows what's going on down there. It doesn't sound like you need to know anything about anything to get licensed. But it sounds like maybe this guy thought, well, listen, who's angrier than I am? Maybe I can learn along with my clients. Yeah, I think it sounds like it takes next to nothing to get licensed as anything in Florida. Hey, want to open a mental health clinic? Yeah, just fill out this form. Now you're running a mental health clinic. Cool. That's why people keep moving down there. It's the Wild West. They're like, hey, man, want to come down here, run a mental health clinic with me? I don't know. I'm pretty angry.
I got a body in my trunk. No, that's great. It's hands-on experience. You know exactly what these people are going through.
Yeah. I don't know that he's going to keep it in his trunk. But as Exhibit A, Alan, have you seen the video of the police chase in Menor over the weekend? I haven't. I just heard that somebody stole a backhoe or something. And
they stole like a big front loader.
Like a low-speed chase?
Yeah, and they're just driving it down a side street, and the cops are just following behind them. I saw that video. Crazy.
Did not see that. All right.
There's like a rash of those things happening because I think it was in Minnesota or something. Some dude in a Home Depot parking lot was like flipping police cars over with a bobcat type thing.
Do they have a faulty ignition as well? That's easy to hijack.
Maybe similar to it. I think a lot of times they just, if you know how to start them, you can just start them. Like people leave the keys in those all the time.
Did I don't know if I mentioned this because I think we watched it over the break. We watched a documentary called Tread. You ever seen Tread?
No.
It's about swimmers and how they learn.
No.
About tires.
It's it's about a guy, a town called Granby, Colorado. This is 20 years ago. It was June of 2004. Where this guy who had a real problem. What?
Just 20 years ago. 2004 just is.
Oh, I know. It's a kick to the gut.
Like when you say 20 years ago, you're like, oh, you mean like 1987? No.
2004. This guy, they don't realize it, but this guy is spending all this time making this armored bulldozer. And then this was national news at the time or international news. I don't remember it, but the documentary is wild. And he just drives through this small town, all these people that like were mean to him or something, and he's plowing through the buildings. And cops can't do anything because they're firing at but he's armored this bulldozer. It's wild. It's called Tread. And I mean, I guess there's no spoilers because it was 20 years ago, but if you're unfamiliar with the story, it's like a good, I think, hour, 20-minute long documentary. That's bananas. Because I really didn't remember the story. I was like, wild. He made a killdozer, as it were. I got a break. You want to get the last word in? Send me a text, 35192. Cavs pregame set for 6:30. They start up against the Magic in Orlando tonight at 7 on MMS.
This is the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio